हेलो, नमस्ते, गुड आफ्टरनून। स्वागत है आपका पल्स एंटरटेनमेंट शो में और मैं हूं आपके साथ सपना पांडे। बॉलीवुड के बहुत सारे गॉसिप्स और इंटरेस्टिंग खबरों को लेकर आपकी इस बोरिंग नून को मजेदार बनवाने के लिए आ गई हूं मैं। तो इंतजार किस बात का है, चलिए आपको दिखाते हैं कि क्या चल रहा है बी टाउन में। टीवी के धमाकेदार शो बिग बॉस 18 में रजत दलाल को काफी पॉपुलर कर दिया है। यही कारण है कि अक्सर उनसे जुड़े कंटेंट सोशल मीडिया पर छाया रहता है। वहीं शो में वाइल्ड कार्ड एंट्री से आए दिग्विजय सिंह राठी के साथ भी उनकी खास नहीं बनी थी और उन दोनों के बीच काफी झगड़ा होता रहता था। अब ये लड़ाई शो के बाहर देखने को मिल रही है। हाल ही में रजत दलाल का एक वीडियो तेजी से वायरल हो रहा है जिसमें वह दिग्विजय सिंह राठी से बदला लेने के लिए पहुंच गए हैं। इतना ही नहीं, उन्होंने दिग्विजय सिंह राठी को सरेआम चेतावनी देते हुए कहा, यहां से थप्पड़ मारते हुए ले जाऊंगा।
भाई ने बोला था मैं एक क्रिमिनल हूँ, मेरे घर वालों को शर्म आती है मेरे साथ रहने पर। मैं पुलिस से भागा हुआ और गुजरात में था।
मैंने क्या बोला कि तू क्रिमिनल है?
मेरे भाई यहाँ से थप्पड़ मारता हुआ रोड तक लेके जाऊंगा, ईसी हो जाए सारा तेल देने। तोड़ के हाथ में देखूंगा भाई
बोल रहा है थप्पड़ मार दो, बाहर लेके जाएगा क्या? भाई शांत हो जाओ। अरे रजत भाई
कैमरे के आगे
फिल्म मेकर और डायरेक्टर अनुराग कश्यप बॉलीवुड में कई सारे ताबड़तोड़ मूवीज लेकर आ चुके हैं। उनके साथ काम करने को लेकर हर कोई एक्साइटेड रहता है। वहीं मलयालम स्टार मंजू वॉरियर का कहना है कि वो हिंदी फिल्म में काम करने का इंतजार कर रही हैं। उन्होंने कहा कि वो उम्मीद करती हैं कि अनुराग कश्यप जल्दी इस इंतजार को पूरा कर देंगे। साथ ही अनुराग कश्यप का कहना है कि उन्होंने नेटफ्लिक्स के स्क्वेड गेम्स में रॉ एजेंट कुसुम देवी यादव की भूमिका निभाने के लिए सबसे पहले मलयालम स्टार मंजू वॉरियर से कांटेक्ट किया था।
Our friendship is like 2013 is when we met first.
Yeah.
So, and I had also reached out to her because we were auditioning for Sacred Games. At that time, there were floods in Kerala. Yeah. Because I've been working for a long time to like get her in Hindi. So, and then she was part of this film. She sent this film to me for feedback. I gave some feedback and all that, and then it came like, "Will you come on?" And I said happily. So I was there when the Malayalam version released. Before that, for Hindi dubbed version, then I think when the film released, and that time simultaneously what had happened was, I think the Jaya committee report had come out. Hema committee, sorry. Hema Jaya and Nirma had Hema committee report had come out. And the landslide happened. So in between, lots of things got affected in those 2 months. Right? And the response and all the things, film was good, but you know how people are. They start looking for reasons, and we were also like, I've seen a lot of films. I see most South films. I hardly see Hindi films. And South films I prefer with subtitles because dubs are very bad. So, and the agencies who take the job of dubbing or randomly likhte hain. I realized this. I was dubbing for Malikuttai Valiban for Mohanlal sir's voice. So I was Lijo's film. I told Lijo, this is a fuck all script. It's a terrible dub. So he says, can I rewrite? So then Lijo said, yeah. Lijo just asked me, can you dub for Mohanlal? And I said, yeah, but then I ended up rewriting. Till then the Hindi version, the original version didn't work. It went. I think then my dubbed version is probably on Hotstar. So then I started rewriting the whole thing. Similarly with this also, then reached out to an agency. I said, you know what, treat it like a Hindi film. It should not look like a Malayalam film being dubbed in Hindi.
Right.
So we took the same post-production process to do it and treat it like a Hindi film. Got professionals to dub for it, so it looks very natural, everything, and not treat it like a dubbed film.
Yeah.
That is why we took time.
Yeah, I just finished Empuran, the sequel of Lucifer. Yeah, but that's very exciting to get to do all kinds of roles and all kinds of films. I'm any day game for it, of course, yes.
I'm trying to push her in Hindi. I'm her agent.
So I'm really looking forward to working in Hindi with Anurag sir, yes.
No, for Amrita Subhash's role, we were trying to get a different language actor.
That was, I think, my first, no, except my first film. The next audition that I did was for Sacred Games. But then I failed.
Really, you didn't fail. Because at that time, Netflix didn't have an India office. So everything was going to the US. So सब कुछ वैसा था. And at that time, OTTs were not really looking at South films at all. They were not looking at South market also. So they wanted an actress to be picked up from where their market is. So it was limited to Maharashtra or in the belt. So there was we gave them three options. We gave them an option of her, and then Nayanthara,
Okay, wow.
and one more person. But they wanted. That's why I'm saying it's all तभी पता चलना चाहिए. Always their choices are based on algorithm, where they are getting subscribers. No, your time gets crowded with unnecessary things. I want to read. बेटी की शादी हो गई. I want to spend more time on myself. Have you seen that? 2 महीने में कितना difference आ गया है? In my health has become so much better. So imagine when you're unhealthy and still feel. I'm like, until one day I was very unwell. I'm sitting at home and doorbell rings because everybody knows my house. And people just walk in, and there used to be a line of all the people that they've just landed in Bombay. Who's the only director who worked with newcomers? Anurag where stays. Everybody wants to tell everybody else this is his house. So people lined up outside. One day comes in and I'm unwell. And he comes in and he's crying. I said, what happened? He said, who are you? How did you come inside? He says, sir, you don't understand. I just lost my father. I said, okay. And I said, I want to audition for you. I said, I'm not doing anything. I'm not well right now. I think, and this is not the office, this is home. He said, sir, you don't understand. I lost my father. I want to audition for you. I said, I'm sorry you lost your father, but it doesn't mean you can walk into my house and I'm not taking any audition. You don't understand. You have no empathy or what? I have lost my father. And he just went on like that. And I said, you have lost your father. I don't know you. How can you use that to corner me? And then trying to do what? He refused to leave. I got hand locks on all the doors after that. My house is full of cameras. I'm saying the thing is, it's difficult. They are living their own fantasy. And because they inherit, worst are the people who inherit wealth. No? So they want to fulfill their own fantasy. It has happened. Like both sare. And then the thing is, they make their own version of the film, and at a point of conflict, they don't know how to engage because they're not been in part of cinema. Then they use money to control.
Yeah.
Then it becomes ugly. I stay away from people then. It's like it has happened many a times. Many a good films didn't release. Once a builder was a part of a film that Danish Stanovich directed, Tigers. It had such a delayed release. Why? Wealthy cinephiles.
So how challenging for you, because they're a newcomer and you have such a huge experience to deal with the newcomer's ideology and to go with the flow.
I know I've known him for a very long time. She's also been a very dear friend. So the idea, of course, I know that he has that sense of the cinematic sense, to have that, to know if someone has that sense to make a good film is very, like, you just know it. You don't need to have a lot of experience, or you don't need to know much for that. So I just decided to trust him, and that was it. And the whole idea was very appealing to me. And I knew that it was going to be very challenging, but at the same time, it was equally exciting. So I thought, okay, why not? I felt that he very sweetly agreed to present the film, which meant the world to us.
Yeah.
Because for a film like Footage, there is no other name that can be associated with the film. We were very honored that he came on board. So now that this film is releasing in Hindi, like a proper Hindi film, so that is that we are very excited that the film is going to be viewed by a wider audience, which is any day the happiest thing that we can ask. Yeah, I just finished Empuran, the sequel of Lucifer. Yeah, but that's very exciting to get to do all kinds of roles in all kinds of films. I'm any day game for it, of course, yes.
I'm trying to push her in Hindi. I'm her agent.
So I'm really looking forward to working in Hindi with Anurag sir. Yeah, we shot half of the film, but then it was during COVID, and I was working on film with Madhavan. So the shoot, we had to wrap shoot when Maddie got COVID, and then later Rocketry, he was busy with the post production and the release of Rocketry. So then we couldn't finish the shoot of the film, and for various reasons we couldn't resume shoot. So I have a half film experience in Hindi. So that was a sing sound film that we shot in Bhopal. It was a lovely film, but then unfortunately we couldn't finish it. No idea if it will happen again. It depends on Anurag sir. Yeah. If he does a film with me, I'm all in.
काफी
एंटरटेनमेंट का डोज आगे भी जारी रहेगा। फिलहाल लेते हैं एक छोटा सा ब्रेक। रोजगार डेवलपर्स, अ यूनिट ऑफ रोजगार डेवलपर्स एंड प्राइवेट लिमिटेड। घर वहीं जहां हो आपका भरोसा। पिछले 15 सालों से आपके सपनों का घर हमारी प्रतिबद्धता। रोजगार डेवलपर्स का पता है शिमला बाईपास रोड, गणेशपुर, देहरादून। रोजगार डेवलपर्स से संपर्क करने के लिए अभी डायल कीजिए 9897054026 पर या 8433207910 पर। ब्रेक के बाद आपका फिर से स्वागत है। तमन्ना भाटिया और विजय वर्मा की जोड़ी फैंस की फेवरेट है। दोनों के चर्चे अक्सर होते रहते हैं, लेकिन अब उनके फैंस के लिए एक बुरी खबर है। खबर है कि अब तमन्ना और विजय का ब्रेकअप हो गया है। जी हाँ, बॉलीवुड एक्टर विजय वर्मा और तमन्ना भाटिया हमेशा से ही पब्लिक प्लेस में एक दूसरे के साथ नजर आए हैं। रिपोर्ट्स के अकॉर्डिंग दोनों का ब्रेकअप हो गया है। उन्होंने दोस्त की तरह रहने का फैसला लिया है। दोनों ने अपने इंस्टाग्राम से एक दूसरे की फोटोज हटा दी है। हालांकि तमन्ना और विजय ने इन खबरों पर ऑफिशियल रिएक्ट नहीं किया है। द नाइट्स ऑफ और नेवर हैव आई एवर के लिए मशहूर एक्ट्रेस पूर्णा जगन्नाथा का कहना है कि डेली बेली से अपनी शुरुआत के बाद और भी हिंदी फिल्मों में काम करना चाहती थी। हालांकि उन्होंने कहा कि जिस तरह से एज से रिलेटेड भेदभाव की वजह से उन्हें कम आंका गया है, ऐसा उन्हें महसूस हुआ है।
What was it about this show that made you do it? And were there any personal or cultural elements that you related to while saying yes to this script?
Absolutely. I mean, have you seen Deli Belly by any chance?
Yes.
Okay, it's kind of like, so Deli Boys and Deli Belly there's some crossover with them in terms of their humor and their sensibility. It's both very absurd. It's very dark. It is very physical. So those are that is completely my sense of humor. So when I read Deli Boys, I was like, absolutely 1000% in just by reading the first episode. It is, very, very few scripts write for the jokes nowadays. They just, there's like a whole Deli Boys just writes for the comedy. It's a vehicle for the audiences to laugh their asses off. So I loved getting a script like this, and also like this character. Like, oh my God, imagine playing a gangster at 52, a cocaine drug lord at 52. It's like a fantasy. And you know, I always say I have a teenage son, and you gotta out gangster them every morning when you wake up.
Yes, yes. And yeah, so how do you think, the portrayal of South Asian immigrants in, in the West, not
Yeah.
just Hollywood, in the West has evolved? And where do you see it going next?
You know, I think that's a great question, Ravi, because I actually see Deli Boys as such a massive step towards portrayal, towards this conversation of our portrayal of immigrants, right? I'm an immigrant, and I can, as an immigrant, an actor, and I can really kind of do the trajectory of my career on the evolution of the writing and of the characters. So I'd play only very stereotypical characters in the beginning, only like a couple of lines as a nurse or a doctor, you know, down to I have the privilege of playing Lucky now. And, you know, I also compared a little bit, not tonally, but did you see Beef on Netflix?
Yes, yes.
So
Perfect.
yes, love it, right? But what it
Yeah.
is like representation 2.0. What happens after? What does it look like after we've told our stories and we go to the next level? It can take many different forms. It can take road rage, or it can take, you know, protecting your cocaine empire. But our ethnicities and where we come from and who we are, and the fact that I'm an immigrant woman, is never lost, but it's just interwoven into a bigger plot point.
Coming back to, Delhi Belly, that the
Yeah.
thing we started with, it's a curious question that I have, that, despite the movie that it became a huge hit in India,
Yes.
but despite
Did you
that,
say despite the movie?
sorry?
Did you say
Yeah,
despite the movie became a hit?
despite the movie that it became so such a big hit, you
Yeah.
didn't do much work in Indian stories.
You know,
So
I felt like they couldn't ever cast me. And I think things have really changed now with streaming services. But when I landed in India, I was 40 years old. I had a child, and they were like, no idea what to do with me or how to place me, you know? There is a very kind of again, the streaming culture has really affected who gets to tell stories now, but there was a very particular type of actress that would play different roles. And I don't, you know, my Hindi is not great, so there was a language barrier to begin with. So after Deli Belly, I did do Ye Jawani Hai Diwani, but I just felt underestimated. I felt like there was just no role for me. There was intense ageism in the industry when I was there. Again, things have really shifted. Priyanka, Deepika, all these people are really shifting what it means to be a woman of, you know, in their 40s and 50s, but not when I was there. I felt like I would have loved to have worked more, but it just didn't happen.
but were there ever any conversations about, having a Delhi Belly 2 as well?
Oh my God, I wish they had done it. I really, really do. I wish they'd done a Deli Belly too. Akshat Verma was the brilliant writer behind Deli Belly, was like, I think one is where it's at. And I wish we had pulled the trigger on it. But my whole theory is Deli Belly 2, it would be Shanaz and me who would have gotten together.
Yeah, because you have spoken about, the challenges of identity and belonging as an immigrant.
sure.
So how has your journey shaped the roles that you choose and the stories you want to tell?
That's a really good question. Yeah, I do. I think the answer is absolutely. I also think I was yearning to tell stories outside the identity narrative. I really have been. The identity narrative, and you know, it was my dream to play an immigrant mom. I'm an immigrant mom, and I've never felt a three-dimensional character, ever seen a three-dimensional character of an immigrant mom portrayed. So never have I ever. Was a real gift. That said, I was dying to do something like the role of Lucky, just dying to, just out there, completely very much who she is and very much unexpected at the same time. And I'm really this is gonna take your time up, but I was the way the character came to me as I was at a restaurant with my mother, and this Parsi lady was there with her 2 grown sons, and just the way she spoke to us, and the Parsis have such a they're so wonderful and so delicate. When she wiped the food off her 28-year-old son, I was like, this is it. I found her in a Parsi lady in Toronto. So it's a delightful character where you can have the way I describe Lucky is she can cook biryani and cocaine with equal talent.
लेखक अमीश त्रिपाठी जो पौराणिक कहानियों के लिए जाने जाते हैं, उन्होंने कहा कि उन्हें आश्चर्य है कि हिंदी सिनेमा ने स्क्रीन पर भारतीय परंपराओं की खोज नहीं की है और इस बदलाव का स्वागत किया है कि अधिक जड़ें जमाई हुई कहानियां बताई जा रही है.
How was your experience working on the show, and what did you discover about Lord Shiva?
Fantastic experience. Went to all parts of all regions of India and Nepal actually, from the west to the northeast, from the north to the south, different regions, different languages, different social classes, different communities, different religions, and the devotion towards Lord Shiva that one found across all of them was inspiring. In fact, there's a temple in Maharashtra where the Hindus and Muslims together worship Lord Shiva.
What is there for the audiences in store?
At an initial level, this documentary, Legends of Shiva, will show you visuals that you've never seen. Stunning, beautiful visuals. Lord Shiva's temples are in really far off places, very often high in the mountains or deep in the jungles, and really beautiful visuals. I think you'll enjoy that. Those who enjoyed the first season, Legends of the Rama, you'll find the same high quality research also going in. But while being entertained, you'll also learn a lot about Lord Shiva, which I think is hopefully is something that is good. And equally so, I think in today's day, it's difficult to find programs which the entire family can watch together. There are some programs which only the youth can see, and they would be embarrassed if their mothers were sitting with them. Or vice versa, some programs that some parents would like, but the youth may get bored by. This is a program that I think will appeal across all ages. The entire family can sit together and enjoy this.
How do you see the representation of Lord Shiva or any other gods in Indian cinema?
Indian cinema, surprisingly, at least Hindi cinema, surprisingly did not cover as much of our traditions, which was frankly surprising. South Indian cinema did from old times, especially Telugu and Kannada movies. As I'm sure you're aware, N.T. Ramarao played so many roles, and he made his name. And the legend of N.T. Ramarao was built on the roles he played of our gods and historical figures. And similarly in Kannada movies, the legendary Rajkumar. Hindi movies did not do as much. It was more on TV that you saw the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. But now one finds that changing. In the recent past, even Hindi movies are moving in this direction, which is good. They're becoming more rooted, and I'm sure their success will become even greater as they get into such subjects.
You are one of the most loved authors in India who has blended mythology and storytelling. Are you going to see any of your books turned into a visual form, movies or series?
One is certainly trying. Let's see. It will get made when Lord Shiva wills it. There is a movie on Lord Krishna that I'm working on. It's not based on one of my books, but I am the creative director on a movie called Radha Ramanam, which is based on Lord Krishna. It's a proper period movie, and that will release in 2026. The shooting has already begun. and a movie based on one of my historical fiction books, Suhel Dev. We're working on that too.
Milua series was in the talks for a trilogy. What is the status?
Regrettably, that hasn't moved ahead. Perhaps the Shiva trilogy and Ramchandra series, the scale is so big that maybe we need a joint Indo-American project to make it happen. Let's see how it goes. But like I said, some of my other subjects, such as Suhel Dev, which are smaller.
बॉलीवुड के खिलाड़ी कुमार यानी कि अक्षय कुमार एक्टिंग के साथ अपनी फिटनेस और लुक्स के लिए काफी पसंद किए जाते हैं। फैंस को एक्टर का स्टाइल आज भी उतना ही पसंद आता है जितना जवानी के दिनों में आता था। अब एक्टर की भांजी की लेटेस्ट तस्वीरें सामने आई है जिसने सोशल मीडिया पर हर किसी का ध्यान खींच लिया है। दरअसल अक्षय कुमार अपनी भांजी सिमर भाटिया के साथ हाल ही में एक इवेंट में स्पॉट हुए थे। इस इवेंट में उन्होंने सिमर के साथ एंट्री ली। इस दौरान दोनों ने सफेद आउटफिट पहना था। वहीं सिमर भाटिया ने अपनी खूबसूरती और स्टाइल से बॉलीवुड एक्ट्रेस को मात देते हुए सुर्खियां बटोरी है। सोशल मीडिया पर वायरल हो रही उनकी तस्वीरें और वीडियोस ने सबका ध्यान खींचा और उन्हें बॉलीवुड की नई हॉट स्टार के रूप में देखा जा रहा है। तो ये आपने जानी बॉलीवुड की मजेदार खबरें। कल फिर आपसे इसी वक्त होगी मुलाकात और नई गॉसिप्स के साथ। तब तक के लिए मुझे दीजिए इजाजत। नमस्कार।